So, what's up people and welcome to the chapter 111 discussion of Kaiju number 8 or Kaiju 8号. So chapter 111 came out a few days ago, and as always I will leave a link to this chapter that's currently being shown on the publisher's official website, Manga Plus, for free to the North American audience, so if you're interested, we'll go take a look at it before they pull this chapter back. Now before I begin, I do want to thank YouTube. If you recall, there was a dispute that I had going on with a copyright strike that came down on chapter 109's discussion video. And I mentioned that because of that, I wasn't going to be able to post any images in the chapter 110 discussion. Well, I did also mention that this video was in dispute, or I put it into dispute, and I did want to thank YouTube because this method of going through the dispute was actually relatively straightforward according to their services, and because of that, chapter 109 was able to be brought back and the copyright strike was removed. And so this turned out to be a lot better than I thought it would be, especially for a small channel like mine. And so I did want to thank YouTube for giving me the opportunity to be able to bring that chapter back. Okay, so any case, chapter 111. Now if you recall in chapter 110, Kaiju 8号 was going into a berserk sort of state, right? Kafka was going to let the little monster take control of the body. And we saw at the end of chapter 110, the transformation starting to occur with Kafka. And it was a pretty cool image. And so chapter 111 continues on with this transformation going into a berserk state. But then it immediately goes into an interesting flashback that happened between Narumi and Kafka. And it seems that Kafka asked Narumi for a secret training session in which he recalled how he went into a berserk state when he was being interrogated by Commander Isao Shinomiya. And that although he wasn't able to control it well, it gave him the opportunity to fight Commander Shinomiya quite well. And so if he could somehow take control of that, this would prove to be very useful in future fights. And of course, after some communication and comedy that goes on between Narumi and Kafka's discussion, Narumi asks, "Why are you asking me this request?" And Kafka answers that you are the only person who I believe can help me with this sort of situation. And Narumi agrees to help Kafka, but he warns Kafka that if he fails to gain control of the situation, then he may not be able to turn himself back. Now, what isn't said, but is implied, is that if he cannot turn himself back, Narumi will basically take care of the situation by eliminating monster number 8 and Kafka in so doing. But considering that Kafka is still around, I presume that everything went well. And so we start understanding this transformation. And so now we come back to the present day again, and we see Kafka transforming into this berserker state. But at the very end of the transformation, he does mention that he has 1 minute to control this situation. And because there is very little time, Kafka actually, in his transformed state, tells Mina to give him cover. And Mina, understanding that there's nothing she can do to stop Kafka from going into this berserk state, the only thing she can do is to comply with his request and support him as much as possible. And then we go into what we expected this chapter to be. I think everybody was looking forward to this power-up. And once this power-up occurred, everybody expected there to be some significantly cool-looking images of the battle, right? And we are not disappointed. Matsumoto Naoya does some phenomenal drawings with regards to action. And this is shown again here. And considering the fact that this is Kafka in his powered-up berserker mode, the images here are some of the best battle images that I think have come out in this series so far. And while the images are interesting, there is this one curious scene that we see where Headquarters is telling Mina, or maybe Mina is telling Headquarters, that the target is being led to the drop site 14. And what does that mean? I have no idea, except drop sites are usually places where, of course, something happens, right? You drop off something. I'm not exactly sure what. Additional crew members, support equipment, I'm not sure. But whatever the case, there is that one small side conversation that goes on. And then we come back to the battle again. Of course, because Kafka knows that he only has a minute, the level of intensity of the battle is phenomenal. But because this is number 9, he is able to take on Kafka even in this Berserker state quite well. And we as a reader through monster number 9 get some interesting understanding of what Kafka is. We always wondered, what is this situation going on? And what we find out is even in this Berserker mode, although monster number 8 is a monster, it's a monster that is designed to attack and battle other monsters. It wasn't just because of Kafka. It sounds like it was the very purpose for which monster number 8 was created. In which case, once again, what is the reasoning for that little creature that went into Kafka? Because if you recall in the very first chapter, that little monster actually said, "I found you," as if it was looking for somebody like Kafka all this time. And why Kafka? Well, we know that Kafka has always wanted to protect the people and be able to battle these monsters. So maybe it needed a pure-hearted person like Kafka who had the determination to be able to move along. I don't know. In which case, does that make the little monster good or bad? And if it's good, why does Kafka have to worry about losing control after 1 minute? And if it's bad, why did the little monster actually look for somebody like Kafka? So it is a mystery of exactly what the heck is going on. But whatever the case, of course, we're nearing the end of that 1 minute. But monster number 9 realizes that it's now located in a location where the other major monsters got defeated recently. And most likely this is drop point 14. And at this point, all of a sudden, Kaiju number 8 or monster number 8, I keep on calling it monster number 8, starts using the Hoshina martial arts while being in this Berserker mode. So you could tell that Kafka still has full control even in this Berserker state. So this is an improvement over what happened when he fought Commander Shinomiya, because he had no control during that time. So whatever he did with Narumi seemed to have worked really well. And it was successful enough so that it turns out that Mina was able to get what she wanted, and we find out at the very last image of this chapter exactly what they dropped in to support this battle at drop point 14. And so it'll be interesting to see how this continues in 112. In 112, it'll probably become a Kafka plus Mina battle. And in fact, if Kafka starts losing control, he may have to let go of his Berserker mode, in which case Mina will only have one shot to be able to take out monster number 9. And why do I have a feeling that it may be able to defeat monster number 9 2 hybrid, but it won't be able to kill monster number 9, and it will be able to run away again, just to give another opportunity for that monster to come back in the future to wreak havoc once more. We are starting to see that monster number 9 is becoming the main adversary for monster number 8, and more is starting to learn about what Kafka is, maybe even more so than Kafka, and so it may be interesting to see if monster number 9 gets away, and if it does, what will he have in plan to take care of monster number 8 in future situations. But we won't know any of this until chapter 112 at least comes out, and once it does, I'll bring out another video and hope you join me at that time. But this is the chapter 111 discussion for Kaiju Hachiko or Kaiju number 8. If you read it, what you think about it, any comments will be greatly appreciated. And until the next episode, happy manga reading, and as always, Jaya everyone.